Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
Hi, I'm 5, and we're going to be looking at Night Market on Lijiang. I think this stage is up there as one of the best maps for Hammond, and a lot of the early plays I remember seeing when Hammond came out took place on this map. Those flank routes to point, the big minefield kills, the huge boops, all happen here. I'm convinced that the best rollout from spawn uses your Lucio speed boost to get to this corner opposite the enemy choke. From here you can use your relative camera to scout the enemy team, before crashing into them with a pile driver or booping them off as they try to walk towards point. If you don't have a Lucio, you can grapple the side of this building as you come out of spawn to get to the point quickly. And while this might be slightly quicker than just moving to point after using the previous rollout we went over, you won't have your grapple back nearly as soon. The best rollouts for Hammond on most maps are going to be the ones that use a short grapple in spawn with a Lucio speed boost to travel most of their distance. There's a lot that can go wrong in this first fight on this map. You can be booped off the edges, you can be killed at the choke here, you're quite exposed. But recognise that Hammond actually fares really well on the point itself. You can push people into the sides of the point for a big pile driver or boop them out of the point from inside. You can even chain this into a pile drive on the mega health pack. You can often find supports or weak DPS players here, pretty split from their team, and it's an easy kill that can get you that early advantage in the first fight. Sitting up here is a pretty good hold position if you win the first fight. You get a lot of visibility with your relative camera, and you can even push up to go for boops on people leaving spawn. You can wall climb over this wall if you're playing against a more static enemy composition in the choke. Rolling through from behind and pushing people in front of an Orisa barrier gets a lot of value for your team. But in general you want to stay outside of this enclosed space. The ceiling details on this map turn out to be asymmetric in such a way that you can pile drive on one side while being unable to on the other. I'm pretty sure these details predate Hammond himself, so there's a chance we might see a change or the clipping might be redone. But for now you can only do these on a side with the orange signs. Another place to hold is the cover we used in our rollout. You can grapple above the choke as the enemy pushes in to get a bunch of bashes with your fireball. It's quite hard for the other team to peek and deal damage to you, so you're pretty safe holding your grapple and just building ultimate. Then you can close with a pile driver or even your minefield to split the other team. When the other team finally do make it to the point, don't feel you have to contest them straight away. Giving them time to forget about you and focus on something else is going to make it easier for you to find those big fight-winning boops. As much as putting minefield on a point can be really strong, I actually like to save my minefield for the next attack when we have to play upwards into control of the point, while on defense my minefield gets more value at the choke, mostly because I don't have to worry that the fight's already been lost. Even if my team wipes as I'm pressing Q, there's still time for me to build ultimate charge finding boops and stalling the point so that I have my ultimate sooner on attack. When it comes to retaking the point, we can expect the enemy team to be holding right at this choke. I have 3 main ways of dealing with this, and we'll start with the most simple and most common, which is just to play point by going for that big flank route. Using these archways to bash into people and pile drive is a good way to initiate a 1v1 with whoever comes to contest. Threatening to take the point from behind draws attention away from your team at the choke, letting them in for free or giving them a big advantage in that fight. Just be careful to time this correctly with the rest of your team. You want all of them to be spawned and at the choke ready to fight before you start capturing the point at all. If you're close to your ultimate on a retake, you can take this off angle on the high ground to poke behind the enemy team. This position does suffer from maximum fall off, so it's not the fastest way to build your ultimate, but we can be quick to collapse on the enemy team or use our ultimate from this spot. A third way to go about retakes is a lot less proactive. Taking this wide flank, we can split enemy attention and threaten the backline, all while having a mega pack right next to us, so we're not a burden on our own team. This recess in the ceiling also gives us a subtle advantage in a lot of 1v1s if you're able to use it. And while we're here, I just want to mention that this slope is going to be considered flat by a pile driver, and it'll no reg for your grapple unless you can find the very edges.